Holiday and welcome to one of my lectures as I'm out here on this walking trail, and it's a little cold this morning, but I got a jacket on, but thinking I'm gonna warm up as the sun slowly come up. And so before I get started, I just want to let everybody know that my YouTube channel is now past 81,000 subscribers, 81,000 plus subscribers, and I really do want to thank all of my supporters for making this happen. You know, none of this would be possible without ongoing support on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's get down to today's very important lecture. And the focus of this lecture is you gotta have a plan. Especially around the holidays, you gotta have a plan to maintain your sobriety from alcohol or drugs. You know, although I am fully retired from my career, my profession as a licensed clinical addiction specialist, I've been credentialed for well over 25 years, rose up in the ranks in my profession. I'm considered as an expert in the field of addiction. I retired September this year, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and even though I'm retired, you know, some of my credentials are still active. You know, I'm credentialed, I'm licensed as an addiction expert in the state of Virginia. I'm licensed in the state of North Carolina. I'm licensed in the state of Georgia as an addiction expert. And when the renewal period come around, then at that time, the Spirit will guide me on returning those licensures back to the board. But, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, it don't matter if I return to the license, I still got the knowledge with my graduate school and internship and working under addictionologists, medical doctors in the field throughout my career. So a piece of paper don't determine my level of knowledge. It's also that skills and experience. And this topic here is a topic I always enjoy doing, because as an addiction expert and working with individuals who were suffering from the disease of alcoholism, it's a destroyer of all destroyers. I'm here to tell you. You know, the opiate epidemic's out of control. Around this time of the year, individuals who are in recovery, you know, holidays may be a joyous time for us, but for people who are battling addiction, rather they've been in recovery for 1 year or 30 years, you know, holidays are a trigger for relapse. It is. And a lot of times when people relapse on their drug of choice, many times they don't make it. It kills them. And I'm beginning to see in my profession, we're beginning to see the age of onset for alcoholism and drug addiction is becoming younger and younger and younger. You know, throughout my career, you know, when I would do clinical assessments on clients, you know, one of the thought-provoking questions I would ask them, how young were you when you started alcohol or drugs? Many of them were telling me at the age of 5, smoking marijuana, you know, drinking alcohol, that's out of control. So by the time they're 10 years old, they're in full-blown addiction, shooting up heroin at the age of 8. So this thing is real. So holidays is a trigger. I don't care if they've been in recovery for X amount of years. Something as simple as Christmas is a trigger for people in recovery. And let me tell you why. Because prior to them getting into recovery, many people who were in active addiction, rather it was from alcohol or drugs, holidays will always be times when they would be getting high or drunk. I'm telling you. So now, since they're in sobriety, holiday time, it may be their first Christmas ever being sober in 20 years. Think about that for a moment. Wrap your mind around that. It may be their first Thanksgiving or their first New Year's sober, because they may have been in active addiction for 10, 15 to 20 years, going hard and heavy. When holidays come up, they high as a kite. In jail, may have killed somebody behind their addiction. So when they got a little bit of sobriety time under their belt, or even a lot of sobriety time under their belt, holidays, Christmas gifts, holiday meals is a major trigger From the outside, you may think they're doing good, but internally, because people who are in recovery from alcohol or drugs relapse mentally before they put the alcohol or drugs in their body, because there is a mental, also there's a psychological component when you're looking at the science of addiction, which is very, very powerful, that causes people, if they don't have a strong support network, to return to use. I've seen people 20 years in recovery and relapse and kill themselves. I've seen it in my career. This thing is real. So when holiday times come, it's going to be very important. They got to have a plan. They got to have a support network. They got to be inside of those meetings, whether it's AA or NA or support group or sponsor or counselor. They are going to have a strong network, specifically around the holidays, because they're up against too many triggers. You know, a lot of times holidays have them reemerge memories of things that may be painful for them around the holidays. So now they've been in sobriety, and that painful experience reemerge. They can go in the bathroom and shoot up heroin, pop that pill, drink their alcoholic beverage. It don't matter, because once they introduce that substance into their body, alcohol might not be their primary drug of choice, but the alcohol is going to be the gateway to lead them to their primary drug of choice. Rather, it's the phenethol, the morphine, the IV drug use, the oxycodone, and it will lead them back into full-blown addiction as if they were never in recovery. This thing is real. You know, I've been in the profession as an addiction expert for 25 plus years, licensed. I supervise other experts working in the field of addiction. I was on top of my game, worked shoulder to shoulder with addictionologists in detox programs, learning that knowledge on top of my game. 2 master's degrees, the knowledge behind this thing. So I've seen it. I've seen it take people out. I've seen it destroy families. It does not. The disease of alcoholism is a non-discriminatory disease. It don't care about the mother, the father, the sister, the brother, the child. It does not. It is a destroyer of all destroyers. This is beginning to go to those sponsors now, since there are a lot of them out there, especially on Christmas Day. It does not stop. It's 24/7, because people who profession, we know right now it is a high risk for relapse. You got people right now who are struggling to maintain their sobriety, because the closer it gets to Christmas, the higher probability, if they don't have a strong network, they will relapse. And I'm here to tell you. And like I said, I just retired in September of 2023, working in the profession on top of my game. I've seen it. I worked in facilities. I worked in outpatient programs. I worked in residential programs. I'm telling you, I've seen these people at their all-time low. I have seen some of them maintain their sobriety with a good support network. And I have also seen a lot of them, their families had to bury them. Some of them as young as the age because they went in the bathroom and OD'd. This thing is real. You got to educate your family. You got to be aware of the signs and symptoms. You know, like I was telling my colleague, I don't care if I return every addiction credential I earn. I got the knowledge in my head. I understand the importance of awareness in educating the family members, the clients, the communities. I've done lectures in communities, universities, treatment programs. You guys, whoever's listening to this, you're getting information that in any other platform a person would have to pay to get when I was in my profession as a licensed clinical addiction expert. And I'm going to tell you something. And I feel like, just by them talking to me, they realized my level of expertise and my level of credentials. They were offering me jobs, come in and be the director of the program. I had to look at these folks. I say, no, that is 8 years of my adult life. I'm in a new chapter in my life. And thank you for the offer, but no thanks. I can still impart my knowledge, my experience, and my skills on topics of relapse prevention, substance abuse as a content creator with still the same information utilized to educate a person to get the help they need or to raise awareness. I don't need no doggone job to do that. I'm good. So I say that to say I don't have to be in that role to share this knowledge, because my knowledge, skills, and credentials, it's within me. It'll go with me everywhere I go. And I'm here to tell you. So I'm telling you, share this information. Anyone who's in recovery, just make sure you have a plan. You gotta have a plan to sustain your sobriety, not just through the holidays, but to sustain your sobriety one day at a time, and make sure you got a very, very strong support network. So that's all I have. Simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great